All right, it is officially championship week. Big Ten West champs forever. No one can ever take that from us.
Never.
How
Hey,
about that Nebraska game, though?
it was a shit show. I already said that, but it was a shit show. It was, electric. You can't expect anything else with a Nebraska game. Like anyone who's ever played against Nebraska, like on the team, you ask them like how you prepared for the game. You really can't prepare for it because, like, I'll be honest, they usually suck, but it doesn't matter because if you play at Nebraska, or even when they play, they beat us last year, and that was at home. Like playing at Nebraska, it's a crazy environment, and there could be one thing that'll hit the fan, and shit just goes south quick. So every time you play Nebraska, it's always going to be like that, and usually we come out victorious, and we did, and it was fucking awesome.
That's so true. It's like every single Iowa game this year is the exact quote of everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And the first drive, both teams just hit each other right in the mouth and are like, all right, let's see how we can make this one interesting.
Yeah, it's
Throw the plans out and let's roll.
and how about the balls on? I'm sure Coach Woods. I'm sure it was Coach Woods' call of throwing a kicker who's never kicked a field goal ever in a game for Iowa. Central Michigan transfer. Shout out, fire up Chips, dude. I mean, that was unbelievable. I remember when he came in the game, my dad's like, "Who the heck is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea who that is." It was kind of like was Keith kicking all year when he hit that game winner against Michigan?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, Keith. This might have been actually Michigan was number 2. This was pretty cool. This was pretty cool to see.
And the craziest part of it, like when we're awesome interview with Deontay Craig coming up, by the way, stick around for that. But the crazy thing about it, we were talking, he's 1-for-1 in his Hawkeye career. KF said they're probably going back to Drew for this week. So Marshall Meter could graduate a Hawkeye 1-for-1 in his career with his only kick being a game winner against Nebraska.
Awesome. What a way to go.
It's a hell of a resume, man.
You're 100% with a game winner. You can't really beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was – and, we talked to Craig about it a little bit, but, like, after the Illinois game, it's kind of tough to celebrate. You celebrate being a Big Ten West champ. But, like, when I was there, it wasn't until we beat Nebraska to make it to the Big Ten championship. So, like, that celebration was nuts. Because it was the last game of the year until that game. Last game of the regular season. You're going crazy. It was electric. But you beat Illinois. You clinched the Big Ten West. But you still got to worry about Nebraska. So it's tough. Like, it's tough to celebrate something like that. You can do it in the moment. But that next morning, it's like you flip the switch and you're playing a team that's fighting for a bowl game when you're already in a Big Ten championship. Mm-hmm. And the worst part is, it's going to be a bitch because these guys want to make it. And
they hate their Super Bowl.
Every year. And we lost.
You know what's so great?
They had some confidence coming into this game because they were coming off a win from us last year. It was nuts.
You know what's so great, too, is you and Tori always tell the stories of the Nebraska fans in 2021, how they're just ruthless. And then finally you guys end up winning the game at the end. So you get to talk smack. Mason Richmond met with the media yesterday and was talking about how one of the security guards who was supposed to be watching the Iowa bench was just talking shit on the sidelines to them.
Oh, dude, everyone there is Nebraska fan oriented. Like everyone's like so into Nebraska. I know some Nebraska fans. My parents are friends with them. The coolest, nicest people ever, and they are diehard Nebraska fans. And every year, like they're still fans, and like they're very similar to Iowa fans. Like I'll be honest with you, like they give it to you when you're on the sideline. I remember I didn't play a lick that game, and I was just giving people waters. Like I was literally a water boy, and some dude was up in the stands. He's like, "Yeah, you gonna keep giving them fucking waters, water boy?" And I like turned around, I was like laughing at it 'cause I'm like, I can't say anything. And then Jamar had the interception. I turned around and I held the water bottle up to him. And the dude came like running. Someone was like holding him back in the stands. He was trying to run down to like get up to the fence, and like he was gonna just shit on me. It was dude, Tori is up on the bench after the game. Like oh my gosh, bro. Everyone was, as soon as that game was like, as soon as he got that pick, every single one of us turned around to the fans and we were just hearing an earful. It was awesome. It's electric. I would say it's like one of the most fun games you can play in. Like every year. It doesn't matter if they're 1-11. Like,
yeah, that fan base is awesome.
Awesome. I hate them, but like I really do love them. Like I love, because I respect it. I respect the help.
That's how Iowa State is too. It's so fun riling that fan base up because they just have no line of defense other than what ifs.
Well, dude, and it's interesting.
Both fan bases, Nebraska and Iowa State.
One of my buddies, I'm not going to say who, but they texted me, or they texted like a group chat of ours and was like, as soon as the game was over, it's like, number one, we have somehow found a way to win all of our games somehow when we've been down for the count, but we win. And number two, Nebraska has found a way to lose every single time when we play them and we win. Like we find a way to win, they find a way to lose every single time. It's incredible. I've never seen a team do that. I've never seen a team where they just can't. They have this like obstacle that's like blocking them from just getting over the peak. They always get to it, and then they just fall right back down at the end.
They just have the loser culture, basically, where like none of them know what winning is. It's like somebody went on, I can't remember the guy's name, but somebody went on Part of My Take recently, a Stanford guy, and he was talking about when Harbaugh got to Stanford, they had all these traditions and stuff, and he was like, we're cutting all of them. And they were like, wow, this has been done for years. And he's like, you guys are losers. I don't know what ones are the problem. So we're just going to get rid of all of them right now. And once we start winning, we can start bringing a couple back. But Nebraska, it's like they're like, oh, we're a touchdown away here. Just win the ball game. Be like Iowa and win.
Dude, and number one, they shouldn't have fired Bo Pelini. Mm-hmm. That was the downfall of Nebraska. Like recently, obviously they were insane in the 80s and they still hold on to that. Like when we were there, every single time when I was like playing, every time we played in Nebraska, they brought out someone from the 80s at halftime. Like they hold on to that shit every year, and just it's never going to be like that again. Maybe 50 years down the road it will be. Not soon. And number two, I forgot number two. Fuck. It'll come to me.
I do have a question as a player playing in Memorial Stadium. You know how when the away team, so your guys' locker room in Memorial Stadium is right next to the ramp where the fans are they just talking shit to you the whole time and throwing stuff?
No, they don't. They're not like ruthless. Like they're not like chucking shit. Like Iowa State's pretty ruthless. Like I would say Iowa State, you definitely hear it worse from them because obviously you're walking out next to the student section. Like they see the first Iowa guy walk out and it's instantly, you can't hear anything from the boos. But like Nebraska, it's not. I mean, it's obviously a collective boo from the whole stadium, but it's not like bad. I remember I was going to say, Will Compton said it best on that live show when Michigan played Nebraska. He said, what did he say? He said, like, we've sucked since Bo Pelini, but mediocrity can kiss our ass. They will never even be mediocre. Like, no. It's either they're going to jump from being dog shit to really good or just stay in that way. Because unless they find someone who can just change that culture, let's say rehire Bo Pelini, it's going to be like that for a while.
Imagine we live in a world where there's an 8-4 Nebraska. Like, you just can't really see it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes in college football if that's the case.
Yeah,
like it is. There will be flying cars when that happens.
It's fun. They're a great fan base, man. I went to Nebraska-Oklahoma game in Norman, Oklahoma, and you're right about the 80s because actually the night before we're out at the bars. This is in Norman, Oklahoma, and there were thousands of Nebraska fans. They traveled so well. But the Big Eight was the original conference, and that's when Oklahoma and Nebraska had that rivalry. So everyone I met at the bar was on those teams. They all had their rings on, and every fan would go up to them and be like, "Were you this guy on that team?" But there's still like legends there.
And they'll bring out like big time celebrities at halftime, just like random people who went to my freshman year. I think I've told this story before, but I'll revisit it. It was my freshman year, and it was halftime, and people were going nuts for the dude that they had in the board. I'm like, who the hell? Like, I don't even know who it is. And this was like right after that. You ever see Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates?
Nope.
Zac Efron and Adam Devine?
Nope.
Do you know who Adam Devine is?
Yeah.
From
Workaholics guy.
Workaholics. He was in the middle of the field just going nuts. And I'm like, dude, whoa, this is sweet. They were like talking about playing a huddle. I'm like, listen to it. And I looked over. I'm like, I just completely disregard the play. I'm like, I love this guy. And it was, I mean, they literally bring out everyone. And then like right after him was a guy on like a card that was from like the 80s. I'm like, yep, there it is.
They're such a big brand.
Yeah. I mean, and the brand was literally built only in the 80s. And now it's just like, it's a shit show.
Nebraska right now is like the Cowboys bringing out Dolly Parton for the halftime show of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it literally is.
She's just grabbing onto the railing on the side. It's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have had her do this.
Yeah. This is probably the wrong decision. Yeah,
she could not stand up.
But hey, we beat Nebraska. We're 10-2, which we called it from the beginning of the year. Somehow we called it. Big Ten West champs. I mean, I think you were more on the train than I was, but I did think there was a chance. You were right. We made it. And the best part about it is, realistically, on paper, we should get our asses kicked. Like, kicked. But every time that situation arises, we somehow win.
Mm-hmm.
Every Michigan fan will say, well, yeah, not a chance. I'm telling you, we have more of a chance now than we did in 21.
1,000. This also in the interview, but just how they were the team of destiny in 2021. They finally were back. Like, Michigan had not been restored to a powerhouse. They couldn't get over the hump of beating Ohio State. Harbaugh was on the hot seat the year before.
Yep.
Finally, he goes into that game. Basically, you lose, and you might not be our coach next year. You win, and you're just the biggest Michigan coach since Lloyd Carr, basically. So they win that game. They go into Indy, finally can make the playoff. The shooting in Michigan, everything, the stars all lined up in 2021 for them. Right now, it feels like they are king of the castle, David versus Goliath, and we know who wins in the story of David versus Goliath.
Yeah, and like you said, and going back to my point, like we had a stacked team, 21. Like, we really did have a shot, and there was a couple plays that we missed that would have actually completely changed the momentum of that game. It would have been really interesting, like that. I mean, we talked with Craig, but the missed halfback pass, and then we missed the field goal too. If those
was a deep red zone drive, the missed field goal. I believe we had. Yeah, there were 3 drives in a row where we finally made a field goal on the third one, but the first 2 were like, it should be 14 to whatever.
Well, it's kind of like when we played Ohio State. Like, we picked 6 off the rip, and then they came back and scored. Like, if we would have done that and just answered, it would have been a very, I think, different, interesting game. But like you said, like, they really, like, realistically, they were the team of destiny. Like, with the shooting in Oxford, I didn't even realize that the kid who passed away in the shooting, his parents were at coin flip. I didn't realize it until after the game. And then we talk about this too, but I mean, their final score, 45, was the number of the kid who was killed. And it was like, man, like, it sucks that we lost that game, but it's like that's a pretty cool story. Like it's cool that happened that way, and that they were able to win that game in that kind of fashion. Doing it for obviously that kid's family and everyone who's affected by it. But I mean, going into this game, we're not as loaded. Obviously, we've been counted out of basically everything the whole year, and I'm telling you, man, like this is every single time we are counted out. Ohio State, we were supposed to lose by 50.
That's what this feels like.
It does. It really does. And there's a lot of situations that could happen where they could fuck up. And if they fuck up, it's going to be very interesting if we take advantage of it.
It's funny, too, because last year when we played Michigan and Kinnick, J.J. McCarthy was so bad that game.
Yeah.
Like, he missed wide open receivers in the end zone twice in the first half. The deep ball wasn't there. We dropped a couple picks, and it's like I think we only lost by 10, even though we got garbage time points. Yeah. But anything goes in a title game, swing it both ways. They screw up a couple times in the first half, and then you have our defense to just get all scrappy. That's what we need. We need a defensive shootout.
I mean, this Michigan team, in my opinion, could win the national championship.
Yep.
But, like, this is a game you could really overlook as a team of that caliber. Like, when you got that much, you have that much ahead of you to look forward to of, like, okay, yeah, it's the Big Ten championship, but fuck it. Like, we're going to probably have to play Georgia in the national championship. We got to win the semis first. But, like, our focus is beating Michigan. I have a feeling Michigan's focus is beating whoever they're playing in the semifinals, because they really do think it's going to be a walk in the park, and so does everyone. I mean, obviously, it should be. It should be for them, but I'm telling you, when the Hawks' backs are against the wall, man, that's when they always pull it out.
Yeah, man, when we go the whole state of Iowa. I want to see, people have been putting the win probability charts out there for the Iowa games, because it's just like whoever we're playing against has the win probability until the final minute of the game. I want to see like what a normal fan's heart rate is throughout an Iowa football game.
Oh, it's probably unhealthy, to be honest with you.
It's the best, though.
We really haven't talked a lot about betting this year because it's been more about just the team. I want to get into the lines for this game because it's interesting.
Yes.
Because we were talking about this at work today. I think the spread is minus 23.5. Which
for Michigan's minus.
Michigan's favored. I think it's an interesting spread. And then they also have our team over under for the first half and the second half. The first half is 0.5 and the second half is 0.5.
Yeah, both of those are going to be retirement bets for me.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it's 401k, mortgage, whatever.
It's crazy. And
responsibly.
I mean, this game could go wildly both ways. Like, they could pull away with it big, or we can make it a tight game and pull. If it's a tight game, they should be really worried.
Dude, if it's a tight game at half, I would be freaking out as a Michigan fan.
Freaking out. Like, and you should be.
I think this is the type of game where we'll know where it's going in the first quarter.
Instantly.
Like if Corum breaks that run again.
If Blake Corum breaks one for 80 yards, first play of the game,
it's like, oh,
here we go.
This was a fun vacation.
Yeah. Because like that type of game, when that happens that quick, the momentum stays in favor basically the whole game. It's pretty hard to recover that, especially in our situation. I mean, Michigan basically returned every player, it feels like. And I mean, we're a young team, but resilient. So yeah, I mean, I'm very, very excited to watch this game.
Yeah, so excited. Indy, great sports town.
Yeah. I mean,
I think plan for this weekend. And we did it last year too. It's so good. The lineup is so great for football.
Yeah, it's
But
awesome.
Friday, we'll probably end up at Kilroy's. Kilroy's is a great bar there, and right on the main road. But then Pac-12 titles that night, trip to the playoffs on the line, Oregon, Washington.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, probably start at Kilroy's again, end at Brothers, and you get Big 12, SEC, Big 10. If I'm standing by the end of the Big 10 game, I will not consider it successful.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. I got to find a way to get people to turn on the game down here because I don't know if anyone's going to want to watch it.
Oh, man.
I
People
know.
can't appreciate good football anymore.
But you know what? They kind of have – it's not like the regular season where, like, I would go to a bar and be like, hey, can you throw on Iowa, Minnesota? And they're like, no. Like, there's not a chance. But, like, now it's like this is one of the only games going on. It's the Big Ten championship, and Michigan's in it. So people are like, all right, screw it, fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the only other game at that time is Louisville, Florida State. They started 7 as well.
Which should be a blowout, but
I hope Louisville whoops them. They shouldn't be in the playoff.
yeah. Well, without what's his name? Who's Travis?
Without
Wilson?
Travis, it's like, dude, you go play Georgia, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, at least he can make plays on his feet. Like realistically, I mean, their running backs are Trey Benson's nasty, but like they just lob it up to that 6'7" receiver, and then Keon Coleman, who's a freak.
Keon Coleman's has been incredible. This team, though, this Iowa football team for 2023 has completely reformed my brain for what good football is, and I can't get out of it. Like,
Right.
I tried to watch Texas versus Texas Tech and Oregon State. I'm like, this isn't even football. Like,
It's just a run and gun, dude.
Yeah. Why did this guy not try and tackle him?
Yeah, dude, it is. I'm very excited to watch it.
Deep shots down the field. Like, what are we doing? I love Iowa football. It's so fun to watch now.
It is. Like, people think it's so boring, but it's like that's what real defenses look like. That's why the conferences are putting up 50 points. Grant SEC, yeah, they're a great conference and they have some freaks on defense and offense. But like our defense every year is like top 3 for a reason, like for a good reason. And like it or not, it's going to be, if we make it a grimy football, if we make it an Iowa football game, Michigan's in for a rude awakening.
Yes.
If it gets sloppy at all, if they have penalties, if they have turnovers, and they start playing out of control, they're in trouble.
Yeah, it's funny. I woke up on Sunday to a text. My old roommate in Texas was like, all right, give me your unbiased thoughts. So Sunday, wake up, or no, Saturday, because we played Friday. I was like, yeah, we're probably going to lose by 50. Wake up Sunday, boom, light bulb goes off in my head. I was going to win the football game. I watched Auburn, Alabama. What a choke job by Auburn. They stink.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like Auburn lost to New Mexico State by 21 or 31 the week before and then almost beat Alabama. If you don't think Iowa could be in this football game, you have lost your mind.
Lost it, dude. I don't even know what to say about it. It's hard. It is hard to say, like, yeah, we're going to win this game. It's not one of those games. Like, Michigan has the potential to beat us by, like, 60. The potential. But
I have a question for you because this has been big on media questions and everything, and also in the national media. But Iowa being like we are kind of like an underdog, unless you ask, I think it was Mike Halas. Nico was like, yeah, we're always underdogs. I don't know what there isn't to like about Iowa. It's so true. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think we're always negatively looked at?
Because we're boring. Like Iowa football is nothing. It's not flashy. It's not showy. We're not putting up 45 points a game. Like we're winning games like the last game off a field goal from a kid who's never kicked a field goal for Iowa ever. And we're winning at 13-10 against a Nebraska team who's fighting for a bowl game, who is playing in the West, which is a horrible, horrible side of the conference right now. And I mean, historically compared to the East, it's the worst one of the two. And it's just people, especially nowadays in college football with NIL. I mean, everyone wants the flash, the money. College football is turning into a money grab. And everyone's so caught up in it, like they want to see the big plays. They want to see like I said, 50 points, like the Oregons, putting up 50 points a game. They got dudes who run 4.2s. Yeah, they're freaks.
That's not even football.
No, it's not football. Like football was built off of ground and pound, just gritty dudes going up against each other and just like going at it. And now it's become a game where it's fast paced. Fast pace. And people are putting up a shit ton of points. And we are the team who is not doing that. And we are 10-2 and ranked in the top. Are we going to be top 15?
We're 16 right now. They came out today.
Like they're not going to want to put us in the top 15.
No.
Like if we beat Michigan, I don't think we make the top 10.
I mean, Arizona is ranked ahead of us.
Dude, Arizona's
9-3.
A joke.
They're
sorry.
a joke.
And then people are like, dude, they're good. Have you seen their games? I'm like, yeah, I've seen their games. Have you seen their competition, the defense they're going against?
Yeah, they started getting recognition when they put up a game against USC, and USC 7-5.
Yeah, like they have a great quarterback, but their defense sucks.
Sucks.
But like that's like going back to your question. Like Iowa is as a fan, a boring ass game to watch. You're not going to go out of your way to turn on an Iowa game when there's other games on because you don't want to watch that. But like fans understand it. I mean, that's why people win for Brian's head is because we're not putting up points. Well, guess what? Iowa really hasn't been known to put up points. Like the one year we really put up points was when we had Hawkinson, Fant, freaking our defense was insane. Akram Wadley was nasty at running back.
We had a terrible record.
We had a terrible record. Terrible record. But like you look at it now, we don't have those weapons in offense. Like we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. But our defense is insane and our special teams is insane. Like it or not, we are winning these games off of Torrey's field position off his punts. And like no teams really think about that. Like you think, oh, special teams is big. When I'm telling you, like when I came to Iowa, I didn't realize how big special teams was until I got there. And compared to other teams, we value special teams way more, and it wins games. It literally wins. I mean, we have the shirts from Every Kick Counts. Shout out Every Kick Counts, the best. Special teams is winning us games along with our defense. Like our offense is starting to click a little bit. I mean, they've been clicking the past few weeks. We're still making turnovers, obviously, and shit like that happens. And our offense isn't great, but we're a boring team that wins games, and no one wants to see that. And like Nico said, I do think we're the underdogs because the teams left right now playing in the big conference championships are fun to watch. And that's why people think Michigan's going to stomp us because Michigan has been putting up those points, and we have not. So we are the most boring team in a conference championship by far, arguably the most boring team ever. Well, you know what? We win games because we have the culture. Everyone knows that's our game. And everyone has each other's backs. They're gritty, they're resilient. Doesn't matter what happens. And everyone believes in each other, even if they're not playing great. The defense still believes in the offense, even though it can be tough. But like they win games. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it's just we're a boring team and people don't want to watch us.
It's so fun though. We're on CBS last week. And I think a lot of people enjoyed watching us because it's such a heart attack at the end of ball games. You just find a way to win. But when I brought up, I went to Nebraska, Oklahoma. When you're sitting in those crowds, they expect to be winning by so much because they're like, we're supposed to score 60 a game.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. Where Iowa, we appreciate every point that we get. It's so hard earned. I mean,
Dude,
not even a field goal is guaranteed, as we saw last week.
I would say our points we put up in games are the hardest earned points in college football. It's not.
It's blue collar, go to work, earn your pennies, put them together, and somehow you have $100 bill.
Yeah. And we're going to be the best boring team in the history of college football.
Yeah.
So,
man, it's awesome. Hopefully we get that win this weekend. Michigan fans, the worst. We won't see you at the bars. We'll see you at the game. You're all losers. Sorry, I've said that too many times.
dude, let me tell you, at the bars too, if Iowa pulls this off, I'm being so serious with you, there won't be Michigan fans at the bars.
It's the best party on earth.
That's the type of fans they are. They lose like that. They lose that kind of game. They're not going out to the bars.
No, they probably won't. They'll hibernate. And
you know what's funny too is if we lose this game, Michigan fans will see us at the bars.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because we got the best fan base in college football, baby.
They're the best. Gosh, Iowa fans, I'm excited. Hopefully, if you're on the fence about going, just send it. If you have that thing at work where you don't know if you can go, tell your boss, you know what? This is getting pushed to Monday.
Yep.
Find a babysitter, do whatever you got to do. Hotels are cheap. Tickets are way cheaper than 21. Also, life hack, if you're looking for tickets right now, wait till Friday because all the Ohio State fans will realize, oh, they haven't sold yet. I got to get rid of them for a cheap price because Ohio State, they aren't going.
They are not going. Also, I will say this. I'm not going. I am already regretting it because if we win this game, if you're at this game, it's going to be the greatest celebration in the history of mankind. It might be bigger than the Cubs winning the World Series.
All right. That's pushing it. But, yeah, it'll be a great party. Hopefully we'll see everyone in Indy. Here's a great interview with Deontay Craig. He's the man, homecoming, him and Higgins, and I don't know who else is from Indy.
There's always a bunch of Indy guys on the team.
Bunch of Indy guys. But, yeah, big week for them. A lot of family coming. Hawkeye fans will see you in Indy, and let's go win a title.
Let's win it, baby.
All right, we have this weekend's hometown hero, Deontay Craig, multi-sport athlete. There's Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Deontay Craig. Is that the rankings?
Yeah, I gotta show my respect. I'll take third, but only to those two. Only to those two.
Bro, Jay, and at 3, you had 4.
Nah, if anything, it's 3A, 3B. I'll do that. Interchangeable depending on the day, but yeah, 3A, 3B.
I like it.
How often do you remind Jay that you beat him in basketball in high school?
Every time he reminds me that they beat us in football. It was lucky that I did play basketball because if I didn't, I would have went 0-4 against Brebeuf in my high school career. But we got 2 wins, one at Brebeuf my sophomore year, and then we played them at Culver my junior year, and we won both games. So it wasn't football, but it still evens out a little bit.
Did you ever play against Julius and Tyrone?
So Tyrone, he was on our AAU travel team. He was on the older team. So I think it was his last time playing. I think he stopped at 16U, 17U, whatever the last year is. And he's he's a 6th year this year, so he's 2 years older than me. So we would always travel around to the tournaments together. So they'd play the 17U bracket, we'd be playing the 15U, 14U, or whatever it was. And it was just total clown fest everywhere we went. It was we were winning, but we had a good time in doing it. So it was good.
I'm surprised T even made the team. He's cheeks at basketball. And I hope he sees it. I know he won't see it. But.
No, Tyrone he made the right decision. He made the right decision sticking with football.
Yeah, he used to talk a lot of shit.
I know. Every time we would go to the court, he would There were sometimes he'd pop off, but
Bro, I saw him like dribbling around. I'm like, come on, T.
he
Like,
just he's too strong with it.
he
Like
is.
he doesn't. He lost his
Yeah,
finesse when he got the cut. He lost his finesse. I feel like me and Hig. I still feel like we got like the fluidity to go out there and move around on the basketball court. I mean, the games get competitive here. Like in this off season, like everybody's out there going for each other's heads. And it's fun. I mean, it's just all competition. But it's definitely cool knowing a lot of other people love hooping just the way I do. So I can never get away from it, which I'm glad about. So
I was talking to Jay about it last time when he was on, and it was during COVID. We went to that park. It was like raining out.
Weatherby,
Bro, yes.
yeah.
I remember I saw you and Jay, and everyone's like, yeah, dude, Craig and Hig are pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I remember that it was me, Hig, Laporta,
Bro,
yes, and then
it was nasty.
I want to say Deuce, maybe Deuce or Lachey. One of those
It
two.
was Luke. It was like unfair, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
we went like 7-0, and they had to like kick us off the court because nobody could beat us. But that was a great time. I remember exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, that was fun.
So we got Jay's starting five from just your guys' grade.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you put in there for all-time teammates at Iowa?
All-time teammates?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going. I'll take Jay at the 1. He's running point. I got Coop DeG at the 2. I'm not including myself in this, right? Or is it?
Oh, yeah, you're in there.
Okay. I'm putting me at the 3. I'll take Lachey at the 4, Wyatt Black at the 5, and Kayvon Merriweather 6 man. He's 6 man.
That's it. Yeah, I really want to see a scrimmage in Carver with that.
Nah, we've actually been in there a few times. Last spring, like after spring ball 2 years ago, we're in there a couple times before school let out, and then again during the summer. So shout out to Riley on the hoop team. He plugged us and got us down on the main court.
That's sweet. Do you guys ever scrimmage them or anything?
He jumped in with us for a couple games, and then obviously Tony's from Indy as well. So like me and Hig obviously know him growing up hooping together, and he'll come out. He would like freshman year. Obviously, he's playing a ton now, so it's a bit different. But yeah, they'll pop out with us occasionally, so it's cool.
Dude, it's pretty cool. My freshman year we played. It was me, Kerner, Gersande, Vanessa, I think Kujawa, and then someone else. And we were playing against Luca, Jack Nunji, Austin. And he was like, bro, like it wasn't even fun. Like,
yeah, different. Yeah, Big Jelly, Josh Agunle, he'd pop out with us.
Oh yeah.
And he was obviously like a matchup. The only thing we had for him was YA, and even then he was like 5 inches taller than what YA was. So, but yeah, they're good vibes, good dudes, and but we fit in though. I ain't gonna lie, we fit in.
Absolutely,
that's awesome. And the hoops program. I mean, Caitlin Clark's doing insane stuff,
bro. Like it's ridiculous. She's like the LeBron James of like Iowa athletics. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've never
of women's basketball.
Yeah, literally, like I've never seen like maybe the only person like ahead of her is like Steph in terms of like confidence, like out on the court. Like she could be 0 for 10 and still just one dribble over half court, firing it, cash. Like, and then it's like if she's not hitting, she's getting like 10, 15 assists a game, which is absurd. But yeah, it's like it's definitely sweet. Because I appreciate good basketball, whether it's men, women's, kids, adults, whatever. So it's definitely dope, like not just with the women's team but the men's team, like seeing them win big games and obviously getting to go to some of those games and stuff. So it's cool. I love that we're not just like a football school. Like you can go to different sports and watch them have success.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, football dominates the fall, obviously, and then once winter comes, it's wrestling, women's
Right.
basketball, men's. Like it's
Right.
crazy. Yeah, I'm watching NFL football this weekend, and a State Farm commercial pops up, and I'll just say, "I'm here with
Right,
Hawkeye
it's her.
and Clark."
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
It's like her and Mahomes every other commercial.
I know, it's crazy. Like she's literally like a celebrity already.
Yeah, she's been a celebrity. She's just boosting her status every
Right,
year.
literally.
It's
I
crazy.
saw she like doesn't go out in public by herself now.
I mean, it's probably like hard to. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's like impossible.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's crazy. So we got to get your side of the story on this. Indiana, is it true they offered you basketball and football?
It wasn't an official like scholarship offer for basketball. It was basically like, we want you, obviously football, and if you come here, like we'll give you the opportunity to walk on to the basketball team too. It was like that there, and then Purdue. Obviously, Purdue was more than likely just doing what Indiana was doing to try to sway me one way or the other. But I mean, I'm smart enough to know like what would have really happened. But I will say this: the visit pictures in the hoop uniforms did mesh well with the football picks at the same time. I will say, like,
Yeah,
I was very appreciative of the consideration, the thought behind doing it. So,
Dude, that's got to be like the coolest visits on earth, basketball and football in one weekend.
yeah, it was like I think both times I did that, I was like the only recruit on campus. So they pulled out everything. It was sweet. It was sweet.
that's sick.
Hey, but who do you give the credit to bring you to Iowa? Is that all Jay?
I will say, like, he deserves a decent amount of credit. Just because in the recruiting process, like, it's wicked, obviously. Like, you hear a lot of stuff, get a lot of things promised that, as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, or it's like, hey, they want me to come be the face, like I'm starting day one, like all that stuff sounds really good. But at the end of the day, because what most people don't know is, like, the day after my Iowa official visit, I came up here in June of 2019, and then Higgins committed, like, as we were at the airport leaving the official visit. He like called and submitted his like commitment, posted about everything. And like the next day, I'm in bed. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on this. Like, I'm calling Coach Bell right now. I'm committing. So I thought about it. I texted him, like, Coach Bell later that night. I was like, I think I'll be ready in the morning. And then he was like, what time are you free? Like, I'll get all the coaches together and like we'll FaceTime and you can tell them all together. And I stayed up all night, like, thinking about it. That next morning, Coach Bell texts, he's like, you free? I'm like, Coach, I think I might jump the gun a little bit. I need some more time to think about it. So after that, I didn't even really take any more visits. Because by that point, by the start of your senior season, you kind of already know who you're going to get like official offers from and what spots are filling up where and how it's starting to shake out. But yeah, I definitely did a lot of thinking. I'll give Higgins I'll give him like 40% of the credit just because he helped me like see through some of the smoke I was talking about earlier. And then, a lot of it obviously goes to like Coach Bell and the whole staff for sticking with me through the pump fake, as he liked to call it. And just respecting my process and honestly just being up front from the beginning. So it's obviously felt good having a friend up here that I've known literally since like third, fourth grade. So that made the transition a lot easier. So I'd be wrong if I didn't give him any credit.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. The pump fake.
No, yeah, I know. It was it was like I'm glad I did it, but in the moment I think I was just like, because I think from that official, Deuce was already committed. Ethan Herkett, I think he like committed on the first day. LaShawn committed the first night. Brendan Diaz-Fernandez committed the first night. At the River Power dinner on Saturday, or the breakfast Sunday morning before we all left, Reggie Bracey committed. So I'm like, dang, everybody here is committing. I'm gonna look like the crazy one if I don't, follow through right with them. But yeah, like I said, I just had to take a step back, remove myself, think about the bigger picture, look at all my options, and ultimately I can confidently say I made the right decision. So it worked out.
The second time that when you officially committed, was Coach Bell like, is this for real? Or
so I remember it was the night of August 15th. My senior year scrimmage was the next day, and I was up like I'm talking all night with my high school coaches, like, because of my girlfriend at the time, she went to Indiana, so it was like conflicting interests. Like, I'm at home. Indiana had just come off like a 7-2 seat. Like, they were like 8-5, won a bowl game. And like Coach Allen was obviously like one of the hottest coaches in America at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, man, I get to play at home. Like, parents will definitely be there every week. Like, they want me to play right away. Like, I could try to play basketball. And then obviously she was there. But it's just at the end of the day, I couldn't get past like the numbers. Like, KB would send me graphics like every day comparing Iowa defense to Indiana defense, draft pick to draft pick, like just up and down the line. It was like I'd be a fool to ignore all this. So it was that night. I literally stayed up because we stay in like this like bunker kind of thing for our high school football camps, and it's like literally out in the middle of nowhere. So the only way I had service was if I went outside. So I mean, it's like 12:30, 1 a.m. in the morning in the wooded area. I'm calling my mom, calling my dad, calling my uncles, aunts, everybody I know, just trying to get opinions and like what they think I should do. And I cried a lot. Like, it was tough calling Coach Allen at IU and telling him like, it just wasn't gonna work out, because it's like, I will say, as cutthroat as recruiting is, like, you do run into some really, really good people. And honestly, like, he was one of them. Northwestern, obviously, their current situation aside, when I was getting recruited, had some really good people. So yeah, I mean, it's tough, but you just gotta look at what's best for you. And that next morning, we got out of practice. I confirmed with my high school coaches, like, this is what I'm gonna do. Call my parents, and then I texted KB, said, "Can you FaceTime and get everybody together?" I called him, Coach Ferentz, Wallace, Parker, all of them were right there on the phone, and I told them I was locked in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Man, and hey, it looks like you made the right choice.
No, yeah, like I said, I'm 100% comfortable. Like, I'm right where I needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, shit, 2 Big Ten championship appearances.
Exactly. And a whole lot of wins in doing so. So it's cool.
And you get to go home this weekend.
Nah, yeah, I'm excited. I'm especially going back 2021, and regardless of where it was at, I would love to get that bad taste out of my mouth. And I guess no better opponent. Obviously, you love to go against the best if you want to be the best. So I'm excited to get back there and try to put on a show with my guys.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. It's funny because like 2021, we went into it.
We were loaded in 2021.
Huh?
We were loaded in
Loaded.
2021, dude.
Loaded. We were gonna. There was not a doubt in our mind. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a game.
That's what I'm saying.
A couple missed plays. We had the pass to was it Turner who threw it?
It was Gavin.
Oh yeah,
It's Gavin or Turner that threw it, and Pot like fell.
Yeah,
lost it in the light or something.
That much shorter would have been a touchdown.
And it was wide open too. Like it was wide open. And that was the first drive. Michigan got the ball first. They went 3 and out. Then we went straight down the field, missed on a trick play. They got it. I think they went 3 and out again. Then we went right back down the field, missed the field goal, and then that's when they threw that halfback pass. Or Corum got loose first.
Yeah,
like 67-yard touch. Then the very next defensive play, halfback pass, touchdown. So it was.
So like you said, like a couple plays, and it would have been a completely different game.
I'm telling you, I still believe that to this day.
Like going into that game, it's like we're gonna win this game, and then it's just momentum switch.
I know.
Bad. But this year, going into it, I mean, anytime I was just out of it, I feel like that's when stuff starts clicking, everything starts going good. I mean, this Big Ten championship, I'd say they're saying we're out of it.
No, I mean, yeah, it's like, what do you expect, right? Like Michigan's obviously 12-0. They just beat Ohio State for the 3rd straight year. And obviously they've had a lot of success throughout this season. I mean, Michigan you see what you get. Talented players, big guys, physical, well coached. But like I said, I mean, we're on a mission to be the best. So if we want to do that, we got to go out there and compete and beat the best. And like I said, I'm confident in not only our guys, but our coaches. I know our fans are going to bring the juice, make it tough on them. So it'll be a great environment from both sides. And I'm just excited to get out there and go get it.
Dude, you got to tell us. So, I mean, you clinched the Big Ten West, beating – I already forgot who we beat.
Illinois.
You
Yeah.
beat Illinois, you clinched the Big Ten West. Vibes are high, and then you're like, okay, we got to beat Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through that Nebraska game. Like, I mean, it was it
was crazy.
I mean, no, it was a shit show. But
Yeah, it was – I think – obviously, regardless, they're 0-11, 11-0. Like, we're their Super Bowl every year. Like, regardless, I mean, obviously, last year we had a chance to clinch the Big Ten West again. Yep. They came in, I think, like 2-9, something like that. We were 7-4. All we needed to do was win. We were back in Indy, and they came in here and beat our ass essentially. Yeah. So we knew. Like we were in the locker room right after the Illinois game. Obviously, we had our celebration, but that next morning is like we know we had to prepare harder, if not like the hardest ever for this upcoming game, because we knew, especially them coming off overtime loss where they could have clinched the bowl game for the first time in like 6-7 years, something like that. And now they're playing us 5-6. We just clinched the West. And they're at home on senior day. So it's like, what better chance for them to spoil our momentum and clinch a bowl game and their coach's first year. So I think, honestly, like, dudes had a great week of practice. Like, we were super locked in. Like, we knew what we had to go over there and do. But obviously you can't prepare for
No, you can't.
other factors that come into the game and things that they want to do. But I mean, like you said, dude, our guys are tough. We're a resilient group. Like regardless of what happens, I mean, we just somehow find a way, and that's what we were able to do. And we went out there and earned another trophy.
So would you say Nebraska's locker room after that game was more hyped than Illinois? So that's like the whole, like everything sets in. It's like, okay, now we're making the Big Ten championship, but we just stopped Nebraska from coming in here.
Right. It's like
that would suck. Yeah.
I think it was exciting. They were both exciting in their own ways. Obviously, Illinois, like we won our division. Like we know we earned another game on the schedule, playing for another trophy. So that was cool in itself, just getting to celebrate all our hard work. And accomplishing, obviously one of our preseason goals and making it to Indianapolis. But then you turn around in Nebraska, obviously on a short week, different layouts of practice, different travel logistics. Then you got guys stepping in left and right. Like after like Marshall Meter, like what he did was like absolutely insane. Like getting here like literally a week before the end of camp, not kicking a single in-game field goal, and then he's an Iowa legend with one kick with 7 seconds left in the Nebraska game a week ago. So obviously, and then Ethan getting that game-winning interception, basically getting us in field position. It was exciting just seeing guys who might not get the attention that they deserve, like get put in the spotlight and having their moment. So we definitely celebrated that. And then like you say, keeping Nebraska out of a bowl game is always extra motivation. It's a good thing too.
Yeah.
The roller coaster of emotions, like it's probably different as a player because you're locked in, but as a fan, like the whole time
it was like, because as soon as we got the ball back, I looked at Deacon and I was like, bro, I don't care what happens. Like, lead us down this field. And if you can't, just don't turn the ball over and we got you. And it's like 2 plays later, I'm like, oh my God, did I just jinx it? Like, he threw it to him. But luckily, there was a holding penalty on that play because that took him out of field goal range and pushed him back like past the 50-yard line. And then I think it was like 2 plays later, Hercules got the pick and ran it back. The Bug broke off a big run. It was just like, I mean, it's literally just a day in the life of Iowa football. Like, I can't even explain how many roller coaster events there are in our games. I mean, look, even the ones where we lost, like look at Minnesota. I mean, struggling, fighting all game, finally get one to pop. Everybody's going crazy. 2 seconds later, it gets called back, deflated. We lose. You see what I'm saying? So, it was wild, but obviously just fortunate to come out on the winning end and, get that 10th win on the season.
Dude, I'm telling you, the past, since I was a freshman, every game was always it's a grind to win Big Ten games. Any game in college football.
Yes.
But this year, I've never, and I've talked to Tori about this, I've never seen a team that has just found a way to win every win they've had. You guys, it's like you're out, something happens and you find a way to win. It's just as soon as someone makes a mistake, you capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are a team of destiny this year. I mean, 10-2. I mean, who would have thought you guys would be 10-2 in the middle of the season?
I know. I know.
So I'm sure you guys are ecstatic. I'm sure it's gonna be a fucking riot.
Nah, yeah, we're excited. We're ready. Obviously got 2 more prep days tomorrow and Friday, but I know we don't, because you don't get this opportunity a lot. A lot of these guys have been fortunate enough to get it twice in 3 years, so I know we're definitely going to go and make the most of it.
Well, hey, and like this is the last year that it's going to be a Big Ten East and West Conference. So, I mean, not only are you guys making history by playing in the last Big Ten championship with separated conferences, but you can make history freaking beating Michigan, kicking those guys out. I mean, they're damn. I mean, I would say
the first West win ever.
Yeah,
well, yeah. I was just actually just looking at a graphic. Like I think one of the Fox Sports pages posted it. Like the last 10, 11 years, like the East team has won it. Like I think the last West team to win it was like what Wisconsin when Russell Wilson was still there.
Yeah, and it was legends and leaders back then.
Yeah. So it wasn't even East and West. So
they beat Nebraska.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we're obviously all the Big Ten, but I know we're definitely because obviously the Western side of the division gets a lot of dirt just because our style of play is a lot different from other teams in the conference. But you know, we got hard workers, we got dogs, we got talented players over here too. So we're definitely trying to put on for the West Division and make a name for ourselves too in the last year of it.
I got a funny feeling. I got a weird feeling that you guys are gonna fucking upset Michigan, man.
It feels so different because now we're playing spoiler, should be 11-1, playing for a playoff spot, but every time somebody counts out Iowa, and the media's done it all week.
Yeah,
ESPN guys, everything.
Yeah.
Now here comes the big bad defense, just ready to rumble.
Nah, yeah. We'll be ready to go for sure.
You guys got fucking nothing to lose, man.
Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, is it weird with like the last time you guys played Nate, you guys were game planning for Cade and Eric?
Yeah, it's like rewatching the games and stuff, seeing them. I mean, honestly, Eric balled out on us. In that game. I think he had like 2 touchdowns. Did he block that punt, or was that somebody different, or did he recover it or something? I think he was either in on the block punt or he blocked it. But regardless, I mean, he had a monster game. Cade had a monster game. That was like their destiny season too. Like I feel like because that was like their first time beating Ohio State in like 8 years. They obviously had Hutchinson, Corum. That was his breakout year. Ajabo, obviously Cade. And then they had, I remember the emotional side of it. They had the death of that kid.
It was the Oxford shooting. Right?
Yeah, the Oxford shooting. Yeah. And,
the final score of the game was, I think it was 45-3, and the kid died. His football number was 45.
Yeah. So it was like, and they had the patches on their jersey. So it was like,
his parents
that was their destiny right there. So
his parents were the honorary guests for the coin.
Yeah. So
it was destiny, 100%.
Yeah. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. What can you do?
Man. That's crazy. Yeah. So it's way different than 21. Let's hope everyone's safe this week.
Hey, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. That's crazy. But what a fun. I think Indy's the best. One, it's the best sports town on earth because you have the basketball arena, like where the Pacers play. You have every bar and then Lucas Oil at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So fan-wise, it's the best experience you could ever ask for.
Man.
And then you watch football all day, hop in Lucas Oil, and as a fan, everyone's ready to go. That place gets loud.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, obviously, being from Indiana, historically, we're known as like a basketball state, but regardless of like what sport you cheer for, I feel like Indiana fans just have a different level of passion than like other states do. Like I would group Iowa in there, like seeing the fans out here.
The Midwest.
Yeah, like the Midwest in general, like you can just tell like they literally bleed sports regardless of who it is. So like I said, it's gonna be an amazing turnout. Obviously, our fans travel well. Michigan's fans travel well, and both of our fan bases are global. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the ones that aren't in the stadium, there's going to be millions and millions watching on TV wherever they choose to watch from. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, great viewing. So it'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's Harbaugh's first game back. I'm sure people will just tune in for the reality show and whatnot.
Yeah, you already know.
It's like him, Kelsey, and Taylor Swift have probably been on camera more than anyone in America.
Yeah, crazy.
It is crazy.
Absolutely. It is crazy. All right, Deontay Craig, that was a long time coming. Awesome guy.
I know it's been a while, dude. I'm glad we could finally get a time to work this out.
Absolutely. Hey, best of luck out there this week. I'll have boots on the ground in Indy, so hopefully we'll see you Saturday night in celebration.
Hey, for sure. I'll have my hat on, t-shirt, everything, whole shebang.
That's right. Hey, we need one. They need one more W out of you for the camera.
Yeah, I gotta get a good one. This one will be iconic. They keep this in Hawkeye football history.
Oh yeah,
if we're able to pull this one out.
Oh yeah,
that's right. All right.